Wakey, wakey, sunshine. You know what I want.
If you think I'm the kind of person that can be intimidated by these empty threats, you're wrong.
Have it your way.
What the hell are you guys doing? We've got a show to do.
He stole all the donuts. He's trying to eat them all by himself.
It's cream-filled, Mo! Custard!
Do I look like the person who eats donuts? Shoot a damn donuts, Chuck.
Well, that's not happening.
Well, then let it go, Stu.
That's not happening.
Ah.
Ah, fine. But we'll deal with this later.
This is Chuck Johnson, and I'm here to show you! So, for those of you that are new to the show, my name is Chuck Johnson. I'm a traditional martial arts master of 23 years, ranked in 5 different systems, a stuntman here in Japan, and a former celebrity bodyguard.
I'm Stuart Fulton, former professional MMA fighter in Japan, former bouncer in Scotland, and currently Pancras MMA commentator.
Hi, my name is Mona Onoe. I'm Miss Bikini Universe 2011. I'm a fitness expert and model. Wait a minute. You chose the costumes again, didn't you?
There's no time for that kind of discussion, Mo. We gotta go on to the content of the show.
Ah.
So, in episode 19 of the show, the last episode, Stoo and I dealt with boxing tactics for self-defense. So the kind of things that you would do if you have about an arm's length on this person who's trying to attack you or assault you. So in this episode, I'm going to be introducing some techniques that you can use for when someone tries to grab you from the back, and then Stu's going to show you some techniques that you can use for when people get all up in your face trying to start stuff. And then Momo's just going to be representing the hotness.
Buck up.
What's that, Mo?
Nothing. I just say it's brilliant.
Yeah, I know. So the first technique that we're going to take a look at today is an escape from kind of a standard restraint from the back. So Stu, if you could be so kind as to restrain me. Damn, you got big arms. Now, let's take a look at the actual technique itself. As a hold, this isn't a very good way for somebody to grab me, mainly because there's no pain compliance, meaning that it doesn't actually hurt. And what that means for me is that I've actually got time to figure out how to escape, I've got time to execute techniques, and I've got time to do whatever I have to get out.
It also leaves me open to take a headbutt.
Bam! Good point, Stu. So now let's take a look at the actual technique itself. What I'm gonna do from here is I just straighten out my arms like this, as step 1. Then step 2, I'm gonna raise up my leg like this, and then kick to his knee. Bam! Now, you could use your right leg or your left leg, it doesn't matter. I'm right-handed, so I use my right leg. But I lift up, and then I kick off. Could be a full power kick, boom, or could just be placing on the knee. Either way, as long as it ends on the knee, it's fine. Then from there, with my arms straight, I push off with my foot, and I just slide out, like that. Then from there, I've escaped, so if I have to, I can run away or I can do whatever I have to. So now, just to demonstrate to all you lovely people that this is not just techniques for big, strong dudes like me, I'm gonna grab Mona with this hold or with this restraint, and then she's gonna demonstrate the technique. Ready, Momo?
Sure.
Word. Okay, so I've got it from the back. I've got a strong grip like this, and then the first thing Mona's gonna do is she's gonna straighten out both of her arms. Bam, like that. Next thing she's gonna do is she's gonna go ahead and then place her foot on my knee. And then from there, she just slides out. Like so. How was that, Mo? Was it hard?
Easy.
It was easy? All right, all right. So the other thing that happens as well is that as Mona puts her foot on my knee, or as she kicks that knee, I've already got pressure there, or I already feel pain there, which means that my mental concentration or my energy is going here, and the hold is gonna loosen up. Beyond that, also because this is a self-defense situation, you're gonna have adrenaline in your system, so you're probably gonna get really sweaty, which means that with that overhook hold, you're gonna be lubed up so you can just slide right out. Next technique. So the next technique we're gonna be looking at is going to be an escape from a full Nelson. So Stu, if you could please Nelson me. Now, as with the last hold, this isn't necessarily painful. I mean, there is a little bit of pressure on the neck compared to the last one, but basically it doesn't hurt that much. So So I've still got a lot of time to kind of think and to figure things out. That is, unless somebody's actually like punching me in the face or kicking me in the balls or something.
You mean like this?
Oh! Moving on. So let's have Stu go ahead and give me a full Nelson. So from here, for those of you that have seen episode 2 of the show on bear hugs, it's basically the same technique. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna widen my stance like this and then lower my center of gravity so that it's harder for him to drag me somewhere if that's part of his agenda. Okay. The next thing I'm gonna do is from here, I'm just gonna take my arms like this and then I'm gonna use my elbows and then press down to weaken his grip. In some cases, if you do this hard and fast enough, boom, this can actually be enough to break the grip. But just in case it's not, from there, boom, I hit down like this. The next step is I reach up and then I find a single finger. Doesn't matter which one, his fingers are interlaced along the back of your neck, so pretty easy to find. You find one finger, you wrap your entire grip around that single finger, and then from there, you just rip his finger back to break the grip. Then from there, you slide out like this, you can attack the knee, or you can just run. So now let's try this again, this time with me actually doing the hold on Mona. Okay. So from here, I'm gonna go up and get a good grip. So Mona, first thing you're gonna do is widen out your stance and then lower your center of gravity so I can't drag you anywhere. Then from there, I want you to push down with your elbows. I'm gonna keep a really tight grip and I want you to try and escape by grabbing one of my fingers.
I got to get one.
Oh! Killing me, Mo. Killing me. But actually what Mona did was a really good thing. Meaning that anytime you're trying to apply one of these techniques, if it doesn't work immediately, you do something else that's hopefully painful someplace else that takes their attention to that area, and then you go back and you attempt the escape again. So now for the next few techniques, I'm gonna actually take a step out of the teacher seat and into the student seat to have Stu show us a few different techniques that we can use for when people get all up in your face and in your grill.
And these techniques are specifically good because you can execute them at close range and the guy doesn't see it coming. And they're very, very pugilistic.
Pugilistic! Pugilism in your face!
You done?
Yeah, sorry.
Anyway, up close, the guy's in your face. Usually when people are posturing like this, they're very unaware of the distance and what they're doing. And they're not squared off, they're completely face on to you. So from here, you don't have any time to wind up punches because they can see them coming. So a very good way to start is with your hands up. Always keep this fence up here. This is good for keeping the guy back and specifically good for throwing the elbows. The elbows are short, they're compact, and it doesn't matter how big or strong you are, you can throw them with a lot of power. Straight to the jaw. Straight to the jaw. So the basic flow of the movement, hands up, defensive position, ready for anything that might come at you, but being defensive. And the elbows come across with the hand going across the front of your chest like that. So always hands up. And full speed, bang, 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 bang.
Okay, so Stu, what are we doing with our hands again?
So you're going to make sure the hand is palm out and as close to your chest as possible.
Okay, so we're coming in like this. Now, do I need to actually curl my hand in like this, or just making sure that it's clearly just palm out?
Just relaxed and open with the palm out.
Okay. Now, like this, yes?
That's right, all your body weight twisting into it.
Okay, so of course using the shoulders and the hips to drive into that elbow as well.
That's right.
Now my next question is, how about the other hand as a guard? I'm assuming as we're doing this, we're gonna wanna keep some kind of a guard. So am I going to the side like this, or am I keeping it in front of the face like that?
Both are okay.
Both are okay?
Yeah, this is close range stuff, so you want to keep your hands up at all times.
Okay.
So, what you want to do is to drill this really slowly against pads, or even against hands with a partner. Nice and fluid. Letting your shoulders roll into it, and letting the hand cut round the front of your chest. So remember, you're throwing this from here. You're not stepping back I'm not telegraphing this, straight from this very close range. Boom, boom.
And I can tell you guys, just looking at it from here, even as a trained martial artist, a veteran of 20 some odd years of fighting, that's very hard to see. It's very, very hard to see. Because it's just so small. It's just there, boom, and then it's just right there. I think it's also very interesting that Stoo brings this up because, Stoo is coming at this from a very much contemporary martial arts or kind of a, mixed martial arts perspective. But in actuality, if you look at a lot of traditional martial arts, a lot of the traditional self-defense techniques are just loaded with elbows. Even when I'm teaching Taekwondo myself in my Olympic Taekwondo class, we start the class with these same kind of elbow drills. Right? So these are fantastic. And also, the nice thing about your elbow is there's no pads. Okay? So this is it's just rock hard bone. Okay? So you can just totally obliterate somebody with it.
There's no nerves at the end of your elbow either, so you're not going to feel any pain at all. The leverage lends itself well to throwing something very hard and very fast and putting the guy to the ground.
Bam!
So if you want to see some live applications of these elbows, get yourself on YouTube, have a look at some CCTV footage of Russian bouncers. Very real situations, often larger, stronger looking aggressors on the door, in the clubs, bars, and very, very fast elbows, taking them out, putting them on the floor, switching their lights out.
So guys, as you can see, this technique that Stoo just demonstrated, it's very, very simple and easy. So simple, in fact, just to show it, I'm going to have Mona go ahead and try these elbows on me. Actually, you know what? Never mind. Let's just move on. Next technique!
So this technique is a very basic, standard wrestling technique. It's called the arm drag. It can be done from various positions, and the real life application is when the guy is trying to grab you, going to grab you, or maybe trying to take something from your hands. So typically his hands are out. He's not trying to punch you or grab your neck, but his hands are out. So what you want to do is get on the inside with your wrist. So the outside of your wrist goes to the inside of his wrist. That's the checkpoint. Now the arm drag comes from the other hand, going up to the tricep, really deep, not the elbow, deep on the tricep. And you're not pulling with your arm power, you're pulling with your back power, and you're going to step through. And as you do that, you're going to pull with the checked arm on the inside here. So, he's trying to grab something, you check it here, up to the tricep, pull it and step through. Once more, a little bit more slowly. Boom, boom, step through. Now from here, you have some options, maybe a knee, maybe an elbow over the top, an elbow at the front, or possibly, if you're bigger or you feel stronger, you can grab the guy. But in essence, you want to get away from the situation. So, boom, boom, step through and get away.
Stoo, there's a takedown off of that, isn't it?
There is, yeah. You can go for a single leg or a double leg. So, keeping it simple, we'll just go to the single leg. He's going to grab something, check it, pull, straight to the single leg and down. And from here, bang, stomp, lights out.
Okay, so with all these different variations going off of this arm drag technique, now for someone like myself who doesn't come from a strong wrestling background, I'm much more of a striker, which one would you recommend as the most simple?
Well, this is very easy to drill, the actual arm drag. So I recommend just drilling it both sides, nice and slowly, and stepping out in a V shape.
Okay. Would you actually go for the takedown or whatnot if you're not an experienced grappler? Or?
If you don't have any experience wrestling or jiu-jitsu or grappling on the ground, I would stay away from anything on the ground.
Okay. All right, well, let me go ahead and give it a shot. Okay, so from here, let's see, you're going to my outside, yes?
Yeah, so you're coming with,
okay.
with
so
the
I come up
side.
here to the inside.
There.
Okay.
And you're using that to control what my hand does.
Okay.
And this is coming to the tricep.
Okay, so then this one comes up to the tricep here. And then from here, now I'm actually pulling on your arm here. And I'm pulling this way. Am I going under or am I going around this way?
You're going this way, my arm's going that way.
Okay. So then I just go like this.
Yes.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, so let's try it again. So from here, so it's 1, 2, and then 3. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay. One other question I had as I was doing this. So from here, if I do like this, is there any chance of, for example, his arm getting caught up on me or him actually grabbing me around like this as I'm trying to get past?
It's possible, yes, but if you're controlling well with this hand, then you'll be able to bring it down and across your body.
Okay, so that's another key point as well, is that after here, when I grab here, I actually pull this down to get it out of the way so that I can slide past like that.
You're using your forward momentum and you're sending the guy away from you.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so now I'm actually gonna have Mona try these techniques on me. Very, very carefully, and hopefully with no counterattacks. Okay, ready, Mo? So I'm just gonna come in and grab like this, yeah?
Well, usually you guys come up here, no?
Okay, that's actually a very good point. So I guess for women practicing this, it's much more realistic to do it against someone coming at the shoulders like this. Because if a guy's gonna come in, they're probably gonna grab like this instead of trying to grab them at the waist or something like that. Okay, so I'm just gonna come in like this. Boom, 1, 2, grab through, and then pull. Okay. How was that? Easy?
Very easy.
Easy?
Yeah.
Okay, so that concludes today's show. So in this show, we covered 4 different techniques. First of all, I showed you guys how to get out of a restraint from the back, and then from there, how to escape from a full Nelson from the back. Then from there, Stu showed us how to do some elbows to the front for super close range situations, and then also how to use the arm drag for when somebody tries to grab you from the shoulders or tries to take something that you have from you. Okay? Now, as with all these techniques, if you'll notice, all of them are actually very, very simple, as any technique for self-defense should be. Okay? The more complex and difficult and convoluted a technique is, the less likely it's actually going to work when you're in the chaos of a self-defense situation, when you're losing your fine-tune, when you're losing your fine-tune muscle control and everything else because you're in the midst of chaos. Okay? Now that being said, even though these are very, very simple, the fact of the matter is if you do not practice them, you will not remember them and they will not work. As I say in pretty much every single episode, you have to get out there and you have to train these techniques in order to make them yours. I say it in every episode because you guys need to hear it in every single episode. I'm sorry. So again, thank you guys so much for watching and hope to see you next time. Yo. Last one.